I say having money in your bank, because you don't own the account, the bank does, it's not decentralized, is like having cryptocurrency in another person's wallet, and that cryptocurrency is being devalued, meaning inflation.
Yeah.
Why don't you give us a breakdown of your journey and what you've done to get out of the matrix and take that power, and hopefully we can inspire the viewers so that we can do the same and take back control from the deep state.
Yeah. I think what you've said is exactly right. And it's about, I mean, we're going to go into a bit of detail of how we got to this point and what people can take away from it. But it kind of sums up of having the right tool for the job. And paper money has its role, but it's not good for everything. Cryptocurrency again has its role, has its job, but it's not good for everything. Metals again the same. It's about picking the right thing for the right job. But we're not taught about any of this in school. You don't get taught about personal financial education, what's good for you, and which options might be better for certain scenarios. You're just told, look, have a bank account, and banks are a safe place to put money, and that's about it. I don't know if there's anyone else got taught any more than that. And we get taught about, Pythagoras and all this algebra and all this stuff which we never use. Well, I don't use anyway. Somebody might somewhere. Whereas you don't get taught about finance, money, but you use it every day. The whole system is backwards and broken. And it kind of all started, I guess we should say, look, at this point, we don't want to give people advice, or we just want to give people information, education, and then you can make your own decisions. It's just our experience.
Can I just add something to that, Adam, about being broken?
Yes.
I don't. At times, I don't feel it's broken. It doesn't work for us, the people. It works for the people who designed it at the very top. It just doesn't work for us. It works against us. So what we do is we help people to learn that system, to put the ball back in their, back in their in their house, or basically take the power back, is what I'm saying, to empower themselves to learn the system and learn how it works. Because I see it as being the enemy. I see the banking system, the whole system, as being corrupted, and I see it as being the enemy. And if you're fighting an enemy, you need to understand that enemy. So we help people to understand it so they can fight it and put the ball back in their court.
How did it start for you, James? Because you've been on this journey a little bit longer than than I have. What was the points for you? Because those first points are really critical for people starting out.
Yeah, it wasn't actually in the financial world for me personally. It was, I had an ex-girlfriend. It was one of my ex-girlfriends from about, 25 years ago? A long, long time ago. And to cut a long story short, she'd had cancer 3 times before she met me, and she'd had it a 4th time when she met me. And basically, she said she wasn't going to have chemotherapy or any of that again, or any of the normal treatments, radiotherapy. She just wanted to go away and pass away in New Zealand with a friend of hers. But before she went, she met somebody. She was given information about nutritional treatment, and she said, what have I got to lose? So she started that treatment, but she still went away. And long story cut short, again, she survived it through nutritional treatment. And that's when I started thinking for myself. That was my turning point there, because I just thought, well, how has she survived it? Why don't people know about this? And I started asking questions, but that was my turning point. That's when I started digging and looking into it and thinking, wow, this isn't right, this. And I followed the money and I found the truth about it, or my truth anyway. I followed it, but that's my first initial turning point. So from then on, I started questioning things and not just following what the so-called professionals are telling us. I'm not scared to question them anymore. Do you see what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. And I think at that point, because I've had a similar experience, but not to do with health, with finance, and this is where our paths crossed, is that you realize that what you've been told isn't exactly what's going on. Sometimes it can be a version of what's really going on. Sometimes it's totally different. And in both of those scenarios, it's about questioning what you're being told, not for the sake of just doing the opposite, just because they've said that, we're going to do something else. But just question it and doing the research for yourself, because people that are in the mainstream media and in the role of authority, a lot of the time have an agenda, and that skews their information. And it means that what they're telling you to do or telling you is happening is for a reason. And they want you to go down that path. For me, it was looking at paper money and realizing that when you look back through history, there's been about 750 paper currencies in circulation, and they've either disappeared, gone to zero, or have lost 90% of their value. Totally unanimous. There's not one that's gained value and is standing strong. That's what they do. So it seemed to me a ludicrous idea that you would then go and save in something that loses value. It just doesn't make any sense. So once you start to question that and think, well, okay, paper money might be good to transact with on a day-to-day basis. It has its purpose there, but it's terrible for saving in. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever when you do the research for yourself. And that's why we started looking at precious metals as a store of value. Again, precious metals, not great for everyday transactions. I can't imagine going into a grocery store with a bar of gold or a bar of silver and paying for your groceries. That's what paper money's for. But metals are good for that long-term store of value.
Store of wealth and protection. It's financial insurance for us, isn't it? That's exactly what it is. Yes. And what we found out over the years, Nicholas, is what you don't know financially hurts you. It hurts you. There's many things that we've taught families in the past, things that you'd think that people know or should know, but they just don't know. It's very basic stuff, most of it, like debt stacking, Adam, things like that, and mortgages and compound interest and all this, and we've shown people how to be in a better place financially. We've taught people the system and how to be in a better place financially, but how to be financially secure and not have to worry about money, at least, but it's not doing what everyone else does, though, I'm afraid. It really isn't. It's complete opposite to what most people are doing. Most people over here, you've got to do the opposite. In our view, from our experience, to be in a better place financially. And it's really sad. It's really sad to say that, but the system is so corrupted, and it doesn't work for us. It works against us. It works for them at the very top. And that's what we're here to try and share with people, and they can go away and do their own research. And please do that. Please don't just believe us and think, right, yeah, they know what they're talking about. Go away, look at this for yourself, please. And we just, is this what, here's an example, Nicholas. I'm sure you've got friends that earn good wages. I've got a couple of friends, as an example, that are earning maybe 50, 60,000 a year. And that is a decent wage, but they have nothing to show for it. They have nothing. You ask them, are they able to save? No. If the car blows up or something goes wrong in the house, or they've got to use credit cards to pay for it.
Absolutely. And they've just got money in their accounts. It's devaluing. They're not bothered to invest. Most people, I was reading some quotations the other day, and I was reading that most people, if you ask them what's their goals in life, most people, they don't have any goals. And you're lucky to find someone that has a goal. And a lot of people, they don't think long-term, they think short-term, because we're emotional beings, and we always think, what does this do for my ego? But sometimes we have to, it takes a little bit of strength to put our ego to one side and say, actually, I'm going to swallow my pride. I'm going to do this. No one can see it. It doesn't do nothing for my ego. However, I'm going to be good in 10 years. It's going to make a difference.
Yeah, big difference. So, do you know, when we were able to put it down on paper, because we used to do a lot of financial planning for families, and when we could put it on paper and show people where they are financially, and then show them where they could be if they made a few changes, the difference it made down the line, when they could see it, see the numbers, and see that there might be, they might be debt-free in 10 years earlier than what they would have been otherwise. They might have saved £53,000 or whatever. people really saw the difference in them, didn't they? When they saw the numbers and saw it on the plan, they used to think, wow, and they're more likely to take action then and do something about it.
I think in one way as well, with that example, until you actually take a breather out of the day-to-day, the busyness of life, what you're being told, you've got, newspapers and the media and social media, just channeling all of this stuff in. You need to take a breather and a step aside and ask yourself, what's really going on here? How can I really put myself in a better place? If I carry on doing what I'm doing now, where will I end up? And if I tweak this, this, and this, where will I end up then? And it's only at those moments when you have to have an honest conversation with yourself. And that's what we did. And once you start pulling on that piece of string, everything starts to make sense. You start to go, okay, I'm going to look into this for myself. And you can never unsee things again. Once you've gone down that rabbit hole of doing your own research and working out exactly what's going on and exactly where you can be, you taking control, you can never unsee it again. There was something we did over a year ago now, and this is not to blow our own trumpet to say, oh, look how good we are, but just proves the point that we're doing this, kind of month in, month out. We found out, like everyone else did, that governments had printed ridiculous amounts of paper money. That they even said, we're doing this, we're borrowing this, and we're doing this, and we're doing that. And we actually did a video and said, this is going to be a tidal wave of inflation. And because we could see it, you can't print 20, 30, 40% of your currency and there be no effect. That's like borrowing 30, 40% of your household's budget and then going, yeah, we'll be fine. It won't have any impact down the line. And we said, no, it will. The mainstream narrative was that it'll be fine. There'll be no inflation and it won't affect anything. And we said, absolutely, it will. Then what happened? Government said, well, there's a bit of inflation, but it won't last. Then they said, yeah, it might last a little bit, but it'll definitely go away. Now they're saying inflation's a real problem. Well, it doesn't happen overnight. It's not something that was fine last week and is now a huge problem. It's from all that money that's being printed. But if you just take on board what you're being told when you're told it and take that as the truth of what's going on, you're always one step behind. To get ahead, you've got to do that research for yourself and think, does this make sense? Is that logical that we print all this money and there's going to be no effect for anyone? And we saw that. We just saw it happening. And we hope we told enough people in time to actually do something about it, to protect what they've got.
Yeah.
I think the system's designed to keep people that busy that they're working just to survive and keep their head above water, to pay the bills. They're too busy in life in general to think for themselves. That's why, and it's easier to just follow everyone else, isn't it? To go with the flow. And when you're thinking for yourself, it takes more time and effort, doesn't it? A lot more time and effort.
Do you know what surprises me, guys? A lot of people are very happy putting a small percentage of their salary every month towards a government pension plan. And there's so many restrictions despite inflation and much more. And I say to them, and my mum's one of them, and I say to her, why don't you get paid every month? And at the end of the month, just buy a gold sovereign or something, just buy some gold, and just take responsibility and put it on one side. And people they're not used to doing that. We weren't told that. And the thing is, the masses are not doing that. So therefore, they feel uncomfortable. It's like, why am I doing this? They're not doing that.
Exactly. It's a social proof of what everyone's doing. But as we've said many times, what everyone's doing doesn't tend to be, generally speaking, the best thing. The best thing is usually quite a difficult decision. But it puts you in a better place. And I think it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? You take full responsibility, so you can control, you can steer the ship of your life, if you like, and you can decide where you're going to end up. But it means you have to take responsibility for good, bad, and ugly, and everything in between. but it's liberating. It means you can control everything. There's no way I'd go back. No way.
No. Well, we are proof. We are proof in the pudding, if that's the right saying, aren't we, Adam? Because we're in a far better place financially for thinking for ourselves and doing the opposite, mostly to what the masses are doing. I started doing that while I was still serving in the army. Not everybody was in the bar, but most of the guys were in the bar. I was upstairs invested in my education, in my financial education, and learning the system, learning how to beat the system and be in a better place. So I didn't have to worry about money, not just being reliant on the pension, and I was so happy I did that and went against the grain. Because, I wouldn't be where I am now if I didn't do that. But it didn't start then. It started back when my ex-girlfriend had cancer. That's when I started questioning things. I had my eyes open. But from that, that was a turning point. Turning point has helped me all along.
So I'm one of the people in the viewers now watching, and I'm learning, and and most of us in the viewers as well know that gold is king. They know that our current fiat currency is no longer backed by gold since 1971. They keep printing. We've had hyperinflation. It's literally backed by thin air. And I want to invest in gold, but I have no idea how to do that. And I know you guys are really good at giving gold education. So where do we go from here?
Well, I think one thing that we do is we tell people what we have done for ourselves and what we still do today. We still buy every 2 weeks. That's one of the strategies that we have. And we tell them not only what we do, but we tell them why we're doing it as well. And that's the really key bit. Anyone can say buy gold. Great. But why are you buying the gold? That's the education part of know what the message is behind that. So we take people through what we do and why we do it. And then if they want to do the same, great, we can help you with that. I think what people need to work out for themselves is what is their end goal? Like you said, what is your goal? If your goal is to buy groceries next week, then gold's not the thing for you. We don't think anyway. This is just our version. If you're some people come to us and say, I've just sold a house and I'm buying another house in 3 months. I want to put those funds into metals or into gold. Yeah, it's probably too short of a period to put things into to metals because the market moves up and down. Or should I say, it's probably not the best to put everything into metals. Maybe put in some in metals and some do something else with. But work out for yourself what you want to do. If you're wanting to protect and secure your hard-earned money, then metals do that job really well, really well. That's what we've seen over time. We're doing it for ourselves. So people can get in contact with us. They can click on the link. I'm sure there'll be a link below here that they can click on and get in contact with us. And we'll hold the hand through that journey and just see how you get on.
Absolutely.
I mean, most of the people that come to us, Nicholas, are brand new to this, and they say in their emails, they're very open, and they say in their emails they're a little bit nervous and don't know where to start. And at the end of the day, that's why we're there. That's why we're here. That's why we're on this planet. I think that's our role right now, to help people get from there to there and be in a better place financially down the line. That's what we do day in, day out.
Yeah, and we've done the journey as customers ourselves. We still buy metals today. So the questions that they're having, we've had for ourselves as customers. We're not just saying, hey, this is a great idea, do that, but we don't do it ourselves. And that's one thing that always is a bit of a bugbear with financial advisors. Not that I've got anything against them, but they point towards, you should do this with your money. And then you ask them, well, is that what you do with your money? And they might say, well, no, I don't do that. And you think, well, that's like someone giving health advice that then doesn't go to the gym and work out and do this stuff themselves. We're customers. We know the journey. We do it.
Yeah, and so are our families. My mum, my dad, my brothers, their kids, my aunties, my uncles.
Yeah.
All my family do this, and many friends do this. You know, my little boy, he's only 4 years old. He's been saving in metals for the last 4 years since he was born, since he was 3 days old. So,
yeah.
You got him in there very young, James. That's the way forward.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, Adam and James, it's been a great honor to have you guys. Thank you so, so much. I will gladly leave the link below so that people can contact you, ask you questions on gold prices and when to buy and when to sell, which is very important, and how we can store it as well and physically.
Sure.
Is there anything else that you'd like to say to the viewers before we finish? James, you can go first.
Oh, put me on the spot there. Well, this is all about thinking for yourself for us, and it's just stepping out of the box and being brave and just asking them questions. And please don't feel stupid, because a lot of people, when they email us, they say that they apologize for asking the questions and doing the research, and we'll always say, please don't apologize, keep asking, because